All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Blackwing Trading. Hope everybody's having a fabulous Friday morning already. Welcome to my channel. This is your first time on the channel. This is a futures trading channel where you see me do pre-market analysis and live trading. And I have transitioned to going live every morning. I used to just go live every Friday morning, but now I'm going live every morning so that you can see a picture of trading and what it's like. Hopefully in the hopes that you will get into this and start this trading journey also. Nothing is charged on this channel. Everything is free. And I want to give away freely, hopefully that you can learn something and give away freely what I learned free off the internet and this trial and error to help inspire you to get on your trading journey. We're going to start on the charts on a larger scale like we do always. I'm on a 4-hour chart on Thinkorswim, so we can see a trend of what we've been happening over the past week. So last week we had those highs, those all-time highs, 64, 68 on the ES futures. And then we had a dip starting with the Fed meeting and the jobs report. And then the market tried to recover. And then so far this week, we've kind of almost really been in a little seesaw consolidation area. We went up 63.70s, pulled back 63.20s, went back above that as high as 6,400 on some news of a possibility of a ceasefire of Ukraine and Russia. But the market sold that down hard on yesterday. And so now we're back in the 63.70s range. And that's where we've been trading at. And so it's a sideways trading action because there's one of the things that move the market. Sometimes the market moves a catalyst, and one of those catalysts is going to move the market is going to come next week when we get those inflation reports. And so last week the market moved because we had jobs report. This week it wasn't that much in economic data to move the market. But next week we have the CPI, which is consumer price index, and the producer price index, which is a read gauge for inflation. And so those numbers are the market's going to be looking at those numbers, because if we look at the whole scheme of things, if you look at the bigger picture with the job reports last week, it shows that the labor market is cracking. We're not producing as many jobs. And this week we had jobless claims actually go up. There was one data point that we had this week. The jobless claims went up about 7,000 from last week. To like 226,000, something like that. So we have more unemployment and less jobs being created. So that's a crack in the labor market. So the Fed, for them to be able to change the rates, they have a dual mandate, and that dual mandate is maintaining inflation and maintaining the job market. And so the job market is cracking, and they're going to want to see what's happening to inflation next week. Inflation has been creeping up a little bit. Creeping up ever since probably about 6 months ago. And so it's steadily creeping up in the background. And the Fed is going to be looking at that to see what they're going to do for their meeting in September, where they meet again and see if they're going to cut the rates. All right, so that's the big picture. Going on to the 15-minute chart, you can see more of that price action. Go ahead and remove that joint off of here. Same thing, you can see that the market responds to these areas that we draw. That's why price action is so important, because the market responds to these previous price lines. You can see here in the pre-market, 63.60 is one. You can see there's between 63.60, 63.75, goes down to 63.20, which we identified these areas. And we identify these areas every morning in pre-market so that you can see how the market responds to price action. It took me, to be honest with you, a few years to really grab hold on this and to recognize this. And I want to give it to you that price action really matters in trading. So what I mean by price action, that means that at certain price levels, you'll see a lot of buying and selling. There are key points. It's almost like a checkpoint when the whatever it is, whether it's a stock or we have the index, once it gets to a certain level, they almost become checkpoints where people are buying and selling. And then there's usually a change or a shift around that area. So we can see it's happening, all through points that we draw on the chart. And how does that help the personal trader? Well, if you identify these areas, you know where they're at. It can help you plan your trades. right? So if you know that you're coming up on, if you go long and you see, okay, above me at 2 levels, I see a known price level. Okay, I'm going to take my profits there because there's something that usually happens at that level. In the same way, if I go short and the market is going down and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, we got down to this level. It's probably going to bounce right there. Let me go ahead and close the trade out right here. And so it helps you plan out your trades. That's why price action is so important. Nothing is 100%, but recognizing price action greatly increases your probability that you're going to take the right trade at the right time. So I pay attention to price action. And you can see, this price action from yesterday. We got down to like 60, 63.45. Came up. And like I said, we're bouncing down 63.75 in that area, 63.80. And just to see what the market is going to do. I do the 15-minute opening range break. So I don't, pick what the market is going to do. I look at which direction it goes, and then I take a trade in that direction. Sometimes I don't do it perfectly, as if you were on the stream, you saw it yesterday. Yesterday I had a loss yesterday, so I anticipated too quickly. And so lesson learned for the day, I'm going to be patient with the strategy, because if I'd been patient with the strategy, I would have made a lot of money yesterday, but I didn't. All right, so that's getting a little bit closer. That's the 15-minute chart. Let's take it down to the 5-minute chart. And we normally trade on a 5-minute chart, so you can get an idea of, okay, here's what this price action looks like. Here's the volume. I've mentioned this many times on my stream. I pay attention to volume. Volume is very important, so you can see the amount of buying and selling at a particular price point. So you can see here, I have overlapping volume, and that puts the volume bars on top of the chart so you can see it coming. It helps me with my scan where I can see it coming in a little bit quicker. So you can see now we got some buying coming in. This is the volume bar for this price candle right here. And it looks like it's trying to climb up above the 9 exponential moving average up through VWAP. So we'll see what happens. All right, a couple of other things I want to talk about. We've been looking at the overall S&P 500, 10 top 10 companies in S&P 500. Those companies represent about 30% of the index. And so when those companies are doing well, it pulls the index up. When those companies aren't doing well, it pulls the index down. So a couple of big names we look at. Apple. Apple's been trading sideways. They had a big push about 2 days ago when they announced some news that they was going to build a factory in the U.S. And it stayed there yesterday, pretty much, give or take, sideways. Went up a little bit, but it's still trading around the 220 area. So, but they got that big push from a couple of days ago. You can see they were down here at 203. So they pushed up, and so Apple is doing pretty well. Tesla still sitting around about 320 as well. They got a little push from the other day, and then they've been going sideways as well. Nvidia, big chip company, still sitting high in the 180s. Nvidia has been sitting high in the 180s, and so that's what they've been trading at over the past week or so. They were down in the 170s last week, but they've really gained some room, and they've been trading up. Microsoft, settling around about the 520s. They had pretty good earnings, and then they had this big dip you can see here. This is around their earnings season, and then they traded back up for a little bit. People took some profits, and now they're sitting around about the 520s. They were at like 560 probably about a week ago or so when their numbers came out, and so people took some profits, and so they're trading there now. One of the big winners, Meta is still trading high in the 760s. They got as high as 783. You can see that here. After their earnings, they were trading low, and then they had a blowout earnings, great earnings, and they started trading really high. Actually, this was last week. They had their earnings. To go back a couple of days, if we could. Let me go back on there. All right, so we can see This is what Meta did. They were trading at like 691, and then they had their earnings, and it shot way up to like 784, so almost $100 move. And some people took profits after that, but then it started trading back up. So they made a lot of investments in AI and things like that. A lot of ad revenue with Meta among their social media platforms and stuff like that. So they've really been trading high, making a lot of money. So if anybody has any stock in Meta, that's a good deal. If you're on the stream, let me know you're on the stream. Just shout me out in the chat. I love to get your interaction. Just shout me out in the chat. Just say, hey, I'm on if you're on the stream. Thank you for jumping on this Friday morning. And so that's what we look at. A couple other people. Last one, JP Morgan was the largest bank in the world. They've been trading, they were a little bit higher. They've actually been trading down. Got up to like $300, and now they've been trading down a little bit here. They had their earnings in the beginning of the earnings season. The financials, they have their earnings in the beginning of the earnings season. So they had great earnings. This bank is making a lot of money. But they've been going down over the past couple of weeks. So that's where we look at in the S&P 500, those companies. So we go back to the index just to see the range where we're trading at. And there's definitely some indecision in trading right now. It's going to be interesting to see what the market wants to do. It's starting to try to make a small climb up, but it's been rejecting around about 63.82. But probably at the open, it's going to decide what it's going to do. I've noticed yesterday's trading and a couple of days before that, the open really needs to wait a little bit longer because there's a lot of up and down, sideways chop, probably for about 30 minutes. And so today I'm gonna be a little bit cautious. I already took some trades today. I'm actually down. So I'm going to take some trades using the micros today just to kind of be a little bit more conservative and wait to see kind of like what the price action just does so I can take that bigger trend. But we've just kind of been trading in one range.
At Domino's, you can get 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for only $6.99 each. So while your family may not always agree on which music to
Still is earnings season, so we got various companies who are doing their earnings on today. Smaller companies though, not really bigger names, some smaller names is doing their earnings. The earnings season is probably gonna go for another week or so. Nvidia's got their earnings on, sorry about that, on the 27th. So that's at the end of the month. All right, that is market open. 15-minute open range break. Let's make some money. We allow 15 minutes of price action. We draw a crossing area and we take trades where it goes either above or below. We're looking for that trend. Okay, lots of buying volume coming in. It's like a pretty strong push up. Look like I got some selling pressure pulling it down a little bit. Just got like that morning pop. But it's definitely got some selling pulling it back down. Yep, still pulling down. Nope. And that's turning around. Looks like it wants to sell. That's a pretty big range on that first candle. I'm about to move to that second candle. See what we got here. That first candle lets me know that there's going to be some chop, because you can see this range from 63.80 all the way to 63.88. And the candle ends almost at a doji, which is indecision right in the middle. That means there's almost an equal number of buyers and sellers. The buyers just edged out a little bit at the ending of that candle. We got some buying on this next candle. Positive thing, though, you see the 9 EMA is kind of moving up a little bit. When it crosses over the VWAP, that'd be a good deal. But we just wait and see. Oh, there's a strong push up on that candle. Whoa. There's some buying volume in there. We allowed 3 of these candles. I am on a 5-minute chart. So that means that I need 3 candles to make that 15-minute opening range. And then I draw what I call a caution area. which is a box that represents that range. And I like to take trades above or below that to catch the trend above or below. Let me know you're on. Let me know you're on. Just hit me up in the chat. Let me know you're on. And that's pulling back. We're gonna be coming up on another candle, another 5-minute candle here in about a minute. All right. Let me get ready to draw this box out here. So far, this is the range that we're trading in. Let me get this up. Might have to adjust it a little bit. All right, so this is our cautionary, which makes that 15-minute open range. We still got some price action, some time on this last candle. So if this last candle adjusts the range some, I'll adjust the box, and then the way the 15-minute open range break works, we're looking for it to break either definitively up or down. And by definitively, I mean, you make a move, a candle makes a move outside of that range. Then I wait for a 5-minute candle after that to make sure that this is the trend that is on. And once I'm, sure that this is a trend that is on from that next 5-minute candle, then I take the trade. Now, a couple of things I also want to pay attention to, like want to look at key levels, right? So for instance, if this makes a breaks down, well, we know we got this key level at 63, 74, 75. So want to pay attention to that and see what happens at that level. It could, bounce and then continue to break through down or whatever, but either the case, we pay attention at those levels. All right, so it's making a strong move up. On this last candle. All right, went up to 63.89, so I'm going to adjust this up. Oh yeah, that's pushing hard up. All right, there we go. And that's up near the pre-market highs, I believe. Yeah, this is a pre-market high. So if it breaks through that, it definitely could break up into the 64.10 area. All right, looks like it'd be pulling back now.
The best way to beat the Texas heat this summer is with TXU Energy Ultimate Season Pass. Now with an oversized umbrella.
All right, coming up on the end of this candle, and we're gonna see what the next one does. That one is pushing up.
Order filled.
Okay. All right, so I am in a trade right now. You can see I'm trading the micros. I'm down 300, so I'm going a little bit more conservative right now. So I'm trading the micros. The micros are worth $5 a point, worth $50 a point. So this would be a $200 trade if I was trading the other ones, but need to gain some room with the micros. Okay, so I'm going to bring my stop up to break even. And looking forward to go up to 6,400. That's what I'm looking for. It's about to hit the higher day at 63.94. Looking for it to continue and press through that. I'm just trading 2 micros. So you can make great money. I trade the minis, but you can make great money trading the micros. Nothing wrong with trading the micros. Take a couple of good trades. You can easily make $200 a day, $300. All right, once we get up to 50 here, I'm going to bring up my stop to 50. Do want to keep pressing up though, so I can get some room because I am looking for it to go to 6,400. I don't want to stop me out at 50. Come on, baby. Wait for the climb back up here. There we go. I'm going to bring this back to $25 here. Just to leave it there. I don't want to pull back that low. Trying to get his footing up to 64. All right, here we go. Hopefully that candle continues up. It may pull back a little bit. If it does, I may get back in the trade. Yeah, so pull back a little bit. $25 trade. All right, and we'll look for a better time to get back in. Maybe if it pulls back to like 63.91, I may get back in there. Oh, actually push back up. Let's go in.
Order filled.
All right, I'm going to pull this just below that candle right there. And go back to the main chart. Okay. So I got my risk just below this candle. That's about $70. And hoping that it pushes up into the 6,400 range. Actually, I want to go a little bit above that. So getting about a 2-for-1. All right, you're sitting back patient. I hope we get up to that 6,400 range. We go back here. Just to remind you, we go to the bigger chart. You can see 64, and then this is the 64.10 area, 64.5, 64.10 area. It's the next, area of price action. So hopefully they can get up to that point. It may turn around once it gets up to that point. Take away some of this risk. All right, let's go back to the 5-minute. It is rejecting a little bit off the 6,400, trying to get it to break up above that. Okay, there's 64. Let's see if it breaks up. If it breaks up and above it. All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna let it get a little room, and put my stop around about 6,400. It's hesitating around 6,400. I wanted to break it because my take profit is at 64.5. So trying to give it some room to allow it to actually hit that and go up there without getting stopped out prematurely. Ooh, that's pulling down pretty hard. Don't like to see that. That we are patient. And it's resting at 6,400. Trying to get a little bit higher now. There's 64.1. Coming up on 9 o'clock here in a minute. Hoping to get a strong move up. Not a pullback. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and land this here at 45. She may move it up a little bit more.
Order filled.
Yeah, so that's some indecision. So, okay, that's a $45 trade. 2 trades. And that's using 3 micros. All right, since it's kind of, going back and forth at 6,400, that was a two trades. Made $70 off of those 2 trades. So not bad, not bad. Let me see if I'm gonna take another trade, but I'm gonna wait and see if it pulls back at this point, because like I said, 6,400 is a psychological price level, and I'm hoping that it's gonna push up. It looks like it's about to push up. Probably got out too early, but I wanted to make sure that I secured some of those earnings, those profits, just in case it would have pulled back. But it's going back and forth, so there's some indecision buying and selling at that point. Okay, there's a push up, strong push up. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be actually gonna get off right now. So that's 2. Oh, it's going up to the area now. Let me try this. Try one more trade. See if it pulls back some more. Yeah. No, wait. Yeah, wait. Might be a good trade to see if it touches that 64.10 area and then go short. covering below that area is well extended, so I kind of don't want to take another trade to the upside now. Might be a stronger trade to wait till it gets up to like 6,400, 6410, and then go short from the way back down. That's if it does that. That was a strong push up. Yeah, still pushing up. I'm sure I expected. I want to see what it does in this range here if it pulls back. Okay, so yesterday it got as high as 64.26. We'll see if it's going to do anything like that. Now I'm just waiting to see if it's going to pull back in this area. I would like to go short and ride it down, 6,400 or maybe even below that. Yeah, I'm gonna go long here.
Order filled.
Uh-oh. All right. Oh, I had the wrong instrument there. Okay, yeah, I think I was gonna call it a day. I tried to take a trade, but I had the wrong instrument on there. So that's 4 trades today. And I'm gonna go ahead and thank God I had my automatic stops in. It automatically stopped immediately. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day for the day. It may pull back and take a trade to the bottom side, but we'll see. But I'm good. I made back some off of what I lost this morning, and so I'll be okay. All right, I thank y'all for jumping on the stream on this Friday morning. I am streaming every day now, and I want to remind you. So I'm going to be teaching my Future Trading 101 class this Sunday night. So I'm gonna be going live this Sunday night. I'll put this on my channel and make sure that if you go on there now, you can see that it says upcoming for Sunday night at 6 p.m. teaching Futures Trading 101, talking about the mechanics of inside a futures contract. Hopefully that you can jump on that. If you ain't jump on that on this Sunday night, it'll be on there so you can go look at it anytime that you want to. And then, like I said, I am streaming every day now. So if you want to pop in and just to see trade day by day, it'll be there for you. But until we meet again, thank you so much for jumping on this channel, and have a blessed and safe Friday and weekend.